Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again, and welcome to the beginning of my new career mode here on EA Sports UFC 3, of course, as the title said, with Zdeno Chara. Boston Bruins captain, Boston Bruins legend, Zdeno Chara. Now, obviously, my channel is very hockey heavy, odds are. That is why you know who I am and how you found this channel. So my thought process for this was, well, what better way is there to bridge the gap between the two sports than to have this mode, to have this series be built around one of the more, if not the most intimidating force in the history of the National Hockey League, that of course being Zdeno Chara. That said, that's not the only reason why I wanted to use Zdeno Chara as our character here. On top of lightweights and light heavyweights being very heavily featured on both YouTube and Twitch, I wanted to do the exact opposite of what I have been doing on Twitch. Now, to unlock legendary difficulty, you need to beat the game first on Pro, and we did just that on Twitch. Yes, using Gary Bettman as a character. We went 30-1 in our career. It's everything we've been working for. You gonna touch him up? Let's go, DJ. Nice uppercut, bud. Nice uppercut. Oh my god, no! I just got ronded! Yes, that loss is still just as devastating to watch now as it was when it initially happened, but after that loss, we ran the table and we finished our career as the GOAT. Now, this Bettman character is a flyweight and a submission specialist. So taking into account the other series you tend to see on the channel, which of course I don't blame people for using lightweights and light heavyweights, you know, a lot of times people want to keep fighters that are a bit more fun to use, and heavyweights are a little bit, let's go with lumbering and slow, and you often won't see people online use the heavyweight class. But on top of that, the exact opposite of the Bettman character we had been using, which again was a flyweight and submission specialist, the exact opposite of that kind of fits Zdeno Chara to a T, and kind of fits what you would imagine a hockey player going into MMA. It kind of fits exactly what you would expect that to be, which, funny enough, we have seen that with current UFC fighter Steve Bosse. At least, don't, you know, kill me if he was cut. I don't think he was cut. He might have been cut. But the exact opposite of a submission specialist would be a brawler. That said, I do think I'm going to try to utilize the clinch a lot in this series. It would make quite a bit of sense given what a hockey fight tends to look like. So a heavyweight, the exact opposite of a submission specialist, that being a brawler, kind of fits the whole hockey theme of the channel. It fits this series to a T. We will, in fact, be using Zdeno Chara. Let's see what he looks like. Alright guys, and here you go. It's your first look at the game-faced, influenced creation Zdeno Chara. I don't really know what to call it, as we'll get a closer look at this face here. You know, we didn't really have the hairstyle or the proper beard. As far as the face goes, I don't know if Game Face did a tremendous job. My buddy Deej, that is the DEJTV on Twitch, by the way, but my buddy Deej from Twitch mentioned that he's kind of like a mix of Chara and Keanu Reeves, which is good enough for me. And of course, he's fucking just jacked. If you've ever seen Zdeno Chara, the guy is shredded. It's ridiculous. Now, we are going to start him off at 28 years old as opposed to 18, or his actual age, which is 40 years old now at this point. Consider this the had he retired from the NHL after leaving Ottawa instead of signing with Boston, which would have been the darkest timeline. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But I don't want him to be 40. The max age is 45, and I'm still not sure if it would force a player to retire at that point. So that would be awful and quite anticlimactic. But again, as a brawler, as far as the stats go, it all comes down to us simply having to knock everybody out in front of us, at least from the start, because it is going to be a little bit difficult to do much of anything else. But let's move forward. The creation part of this is over. It's time to get into our first fight. Of course, you start off with the first 3 fights in the minor leagues, so to speak, or not even really so to speak, it's just flat out the minor leagues. But what can you do? I'm trying to be nice. The point being, all we have to do is run through our first couple of opponents in the WFA, and we will be good to go. I'm really not sure about that game face, but if you've ever used game face, you'll know that it's not an exact science. I think that's putting it quite nicely. So let's get down to it here. Our journey towards becoming the greatest of all time, something we were able to accomplish with the Gary Bettman flyweight submission specialist character. Will we be able to do the same thing here?
Play baseball, play football, or play basketball. You don't play fighting. To put yourself on the line against an opponent trained to defeat you is not something for the weak-minded. Because while mastering all combat sports disciplines is necessary to compete, to succeed, a fighter must have the heart and determination to walk through fire in search of victory. Tonight, the journey begins. Far from the bright lights of Las Vegas or New York City, but as the saying goes, when the octagon door shuts, a fight's a fight.
All right, guys, here we go. The time has arrived. Let's make our debut. We're going up against Lucas Lawson, the Englishman. We have a gigantic reach advantage, an 81-inch reach that we are going to have to make the most of. The one thing that I'm concerned about, of course, is the stamina, and whether or not he's a bit more of a diverse striker. We'll see. If there's one thing that the AI love in this game, it is body shots and high kicks, and he's already thrown a high kick, and there's the body shot. So that's kind of what I was worried about. We'll see, particularly from the stamina department, as I got caught with a hook on the way out. We'll see, particularly from the stamina department, how well he is able to maintain his stamina throughout the fight, because I have a feeling he's going to be the type of AI fighter to not exactly get tired. I have to make sure that I am smart, or that I potentially knock him out early. Now, jumping into the guard might not have been the best move, and we're not going to be able to get out clean. I was hoping for a little bit more damage there, to be honest, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get up. Hopefully, please. Thank you, EA gods. You were kind of merciful. So we're able to rock him early. As again, that's going to be the key. Staying out of range, not getting caught by those body kicks, not getting backed up as well. I just need to kind of charge forward and try to push him backwards. The problem is, as you can see here, as he's thrown about a dozen strikes in a row without getting tired, I can throw about 5 before I get tired. So that's one of the early issues that we're going to face in this career mode, and maybe just in general. In the flyweight division, it's fairly easy to kind of neutralize their stamina advantages when they're on the ground. You can kind of cheese it and make quick work of them. The other quick thing here, too, is that we have to be very careful with when we decide to throw. Jesus, I can't speak, and I'm also getting ripped to shreds here by these body shots. We have to be very careful. Oh, my God. Can you get tired, please? Like, just please. We have to be very careful with the hooks and the special punches that we throw. He's not going to get tired. I can't really sway, as it's just way too slow and not really effective for us, at least at this point in time, with a default heavyweight character. He has a lot of advantages in this first fight, and yes, I'm going to make as many excuses as I possibly can. Hope you don't mind. We're trying to get out of range. There we go. We caught him with a nice shot. He is hurt. Couple of uppercuts. I'm not going to jump in, though. He recovered fairly quickly. We're in a good spot, though, and that was a good takedown attempt on his part, and I'm honestly shocked he didn't get it. We're going to get this back to the feet and see if we can maybe finish this here in the first round. Unable to get that hook. Trying to duck in and close the range. 18 seconds left. He's able to catch us with the jab. Able to catch us with another shot as we try to push the pace. We were able to catch him with an uppercut, hopefully, and we didn't. We were able to catch him with the hook. Wanted to follow it up with the uppercut. we were unable to. That is a decent first round. I got caught with a few more strikes than I would have preferred, but we were able to drop him twice. That's definitely a win for us. And of course, the one main factor here that I'm worried about is in the flyweight run, being a submission specialist, being able to take guys down to the ground and submit them within the first couple of minutes of the fight, sometimes as quick as 30 seconds as we get caught with a kick to the face. I'm a little bit worried about the longevity of our character. In the flyweight run, we lost, I believe, about 7%. I believe it was about 7% out of 100% on our longevity meter because we were able to make such quick work of our opponents. This is going to be a very different story, wherein we're going to have, you know, much more damage taken. As you can see here in this first fight, we've taken a little bit more damage than I honestly prefer. Not to mention our hook range is abysmal. That's why I'm trying to keep it nice and simple. Trying to just throw a couple of strikes, not get caught by a head kick. That was a bit unfortunate. Let's see if we can regroup here. A good one, too. Just try to stick and move. Let him waste his stamina, although that didn't really accurately reflect what I was doing on the controller there. Pushing forward, trying to take that step forward, much like we did right there. We're going to go for a big shot. Caught him clean. Couple of uppercuts, and Big Z does the job. There we go. The game plan wasn't perfect. At least my implementation of the game plan wasn't perfect. But eventually we were able... Wow, that's kind of a garbage knockout. I know personally if I just lost this fight because of that uppercut that really didn't register, I would be pretty aggravated. That said, I will gladly take the victory. We get the second round knockout to start things off. Again, the implementation of my strategy there, not perfect by any means. And actually, longevity-wise, we did relatively well. We did drop below 99% for that first fight. So I'm feeling pretty good. We did take a few more shots than I would have preferred. The 46 total strikes for him, we landed 70. We had that little bit of top control. He was 0 for 2 on takedowns, but 3 knockdowns in the fight. It was a 10-9 round, according to all 3 judges, for the first round there. So not a bad way to kick things off. A victory in our debut. And again, that is going to be the key, at least in these early stages. We need to make sure we can play this as smart as we possibly can. We can't get too risky with how we approach things. We can't just go for hooks and the big overhands. We can't waste too much stamina. We got to be very smart, defensive, and patient, which is easier said than done. But again, we walk away with the victory in our first fight. And now our second fight offer comes up, and I'll be intrigued to see at who we're looking at here. We have Misha Pavlov, the 12-3 heavyweight. We have a 4-week camp. I think it's a 4-week camp regardless. Indeed it is. Jackson Thomas at 8-2 is the other option. And then Caleb? Why the extra E? Can I not just call you Caleb? Caleb Silva. Okay, that's a name, apparently. So, taking a look, Silva has the weakest stand-up by far, and I think that he also has the weakest health. So yeah, I'm going to, despite the fact that he's undefeated, I'm going to place my bets. I'm gonna hedge my bets. I cannot speak today, but that's fine, because it's not like this is the first episode of a series where I need to make a good impression. Not at all. I'm going to hedge my bets and say that we're going to be able to make the most out of this fight. So let's get into our first training camp. We do have enough funds to purchase a membership at one of our first gyms, and we are going to go straight to Carisi's boxing gym. Now, we could have the option of staying at the basement gym. However, if you do that, you do not have the ability to spar, which is a pretty big deal in this mode. So there we go. We are going to be just about broke, $1,200 to our name. But we're in a solid camp, the best camp for us to start at to begin this series. Let's get the training underway. So here is the first thing we are going to want to do. We are currently at a very nice 69% fitness rating, which is low. Our first step here is to get that up to moderate fitness and then spar. So we can either learn or train, and the smarter thing right now would probably be to learn, just to get a few more tools into the arsenal, but more importantly, unlocking the perks, which you see here with Reuben Harper, him having Headhunter, Dwight Murphy having Zero In. Those are going to be crucial for us to be able to get those little bit of an extra boost to certain attributes while we're still absolutely dreadful. So we have to land 20 punches in 25 seconds. It should be easy enough, hopefully. I can only hope. Let's see if we can get this out of the way early. We are lumbering, tall and lumbering compared to the previous style, but this reach advantage, I have to admit, is quite nice, as we'll just keep walking him down. He doesn't want to protect, and there we go. Quick and easy, and that is one of the things I like about the learning options in this game. It is fairly straightforward. Some are more difficult than others, particularly when you're going up against a better fighter. Here's the problem. Headhunter is head kick focused. We don't necessarily have head kicks, but what I did want here is the increased body jab and the Superman punch. So for those who don't know how this works, each individual strike, or even on the ground, each individual submission, you can level those up. The higher the level, the less stamina it costs, and the higher damage it can do. It is very similar to how it works in Ultimate Team, where you can get higher level tools. So we had the level 2 body jab, we now have the level 3, so it costs 8 less stamina to do, and it has a plus 8% base damage modifier. So I really wanted to go for that because that is going to be key. We're going to have to work the body quite a bit to kind of even out the stamina, not to mention we have the Superman punch, which I hope I never throw. If I start throwing that too often, we're going to be dead tired in the first few minutes of a fight, and it's going to go very, very poorly. But it is something that could be fun to use later on, or if it's a particularly dominating fight. So we're up to moderate fitness. Let's go ahead and spar. It's just a 60-second round. Apparently we have to avoid the clinch against our upcoming opponent, which shouldn't be all that difficult. Now we don't want to take that much damage. Typically, we would just kind of take our opponent to the ground and not have to worry about the stand-up game, but you know, that's a different set of circumstances we have here. But we can look to hopefully boost up our confidence, maybe get a knockout here, or just actually get better at defending, which is really still something that I need to do. Ground game, feel confident. Stand-up game, feel like I do all right, but it's always something you can work on. That is what I love about this game, is the learning curve, particularly against the AI. You can do well against the AI, step in online and get absolutely destroyed, so it's always good. You can never really have enough practice. I am going to go for the takedown here, though, for the final 15 seconds. As you notice in the bottom left-hand corner, our fitness rating is going up. Once you get that into the green, once you get that into those higher numbers, closer to 100%, the more efficient your training will be, and you'll get higher returns when you actually train. So that is the key. You want to get that into the target range. Sparring is a good way to get that to go from, as you saw, the 70s to the 90s, almost a 20-point improvement there. And we're going to get to that ideal range much more quickly. Now we have 20 points left on the week. Of course, it's a 4-week camp. So the first thing we are going to go for here, and honestly, the best option might be chin strength and strike stamina. Another one we're going to want to work on would be head movement, footwork, and strike stamina. Of course, power is also going to be a factor. There is a lot that we have to work on, that is for sure, just in terms of stand-up. We are going to go with the rope-a-dope first, though, increasing our accuracy and our chin strength. And as you can see, we got a plus 1.6 to accuracy. That would have been a lot lower had we not been in moderate, and there's a chance of that being even higher once we get to the higher fitness rating. So whether or not we want to learn more, that is the question. Zero in would be nice. The increased lead elbow and body hook, not so much. Zero in level 2, though, can be learned against David Romaine. Land 15 punches without missing 5. It's not a bad option. We don't yet have the ability to train with Caden Wright. So I do want to get 0 in, which, if I'm not mistaken, increases our accuracy after landing consecutive strikes, which would be fairly helpful considering we are staying with the very straightforward 1-2 combinations early on in this career. So let's just keep ripping this guy apart here, especially since he doesn't want to block. Challenge complete. Moves and perks acquired. Not a bad way to go. Now, of course, the further you progress, the better moves you get. But early on, for me, it's more important, or at least in my opinion, it's more important to get those perks. But we do get that elbow, and we also get 0 in. Now, while we won't be throwing head kicks more than likely throughout the entirety of this, the accuracy attribute +2 for consecutive or after consecutive combos, that should be pretty helpful in taking advantage of an opportunity if we actually manage to rock our opponent. Now you see we're up to 96 peak fitness, so whenever we train, we are going to get even bigger returns. And we'll actually go rope-a-dope this time as well. As for accuracy, we get a +2. There you go. Case in point how that pays off. The question is, do I stick with accuracy, chin strength, and strike stamina? I'm more worried about the chin strength and strike stamina. I want to make sure that we can take a punch. Footwork, though, of course, also a pretty big factor. You know what? I think I am going to stick with the main option there. While I would, of course, like to increase our power, our blocking, our toughness, our heart, we have to focus on some of the more important attributes to start things off. Chin strength, I'd like to get that up more towards, or at least closer to an 85. It is going to be up, I believe, to an 80, 81 at that point in time. We got 2 weeks left in training. We are going to make sure we go through our second fight. As far as promotion goes, who cares at this point in time? It is all about making sure that we are good to go, increasing our health and increasing our strike stamina. Of course, the stamina is going up a little bit more slowly just because it is I believe it's because it's the third one in line there. Let's go one more on rope-a-dope. We'll get that chin strength up to an 85. And from here, we do have the option of going with strike speed and power, which would be nice. Our strike stamina is still at a 68, though, so we're going to work on the slipping defense drills, trying to improve that footwork and the stamina in general. Now we're at 102 peak fitness. If you go over a 105, you get into overtrained territory. There is a way to reduce that. We should be okay, though. We shouldn't go over that magic 105 number. If we do, it's not that big of a concern. We'll be able to neutralize that, although we will, at that point in time, we will miss out on the chance to improve other stats. And you know what? We are going to go for the power increase here by just a little bit. The endurance would also be nice. Yeah, let's go for the power increase. We're going to want to make sure that we can do some damage with these strikes, as we're still at 103 peak fitness, and I don't expect us at this point in time to pass over 105. We will not. 104, that is about as perfect as you can plan it all out. The question is whether or not we can avoid disaster again in our second fight, as there were a couple of scary moments in that first bout. There is always the chance of me absolutely screwing this up, which we'll see whether or not that is the case. Fight number 2 has arrived. Let's get down to business. The tail of the tape against Caleb Silva. We do have the reach advantage as well, height and weight advantage, and of course being 28 years old, the late starter. We'll see what happens. Can we make the most of this? Mario Yamasaki is the official, so be careful in case we do get in trouble. He'll let me take 18,000 extra shots. See what we can do. We're getting back down already and getting caught with a 1-2. Not ideal. Gonna try and back away here, trying to cycle out. We get caught again. He's landing some good shots early. Keeps backing me up against the cage. Not where I want to be. Also having to cycle towards a strong hand, which is not great either, but there we go. Stay on him, try to back him up, and we're able to stuff that takedown, but we're getting right back up to our feet Seeing as it said to stay away from the clinch, he's got to be more of a grappler. I would like to avoid that situation at all costs, and we're definitely feeling a little bit faster on the feet here, which is nice. Quicker the better, especially for the heavyweight class, as we are not able to stuff that one, although I felt fairly confident in blocking that in time. Apparently not. So we're able to block that strike to the body. He's able to counter again, though. He's able to land some good strikes. We're able to get up this time, though. Alright, not bad. So we're able to hit him with the straight. Trading punches. Hopefully the block can hold up here. We got to get out of this situation. See if we can time something here. Absolutely not. And he's going to get this takedown as well. Just about. He's able to get us up against the fence. As he's able to get the takedown now, finally. Alright, well, case in point about trying to stay out of the guard. Pretty sure I beat him to that one, but alright, we're just going to allow him to go with a bunch of undefended transitions. That's okay. We're able to get it back to guard fairly quickly. We're able to block that, and we're able to get back to our feet. So he's taken us down a couple of times. He hasn't been able to do too much with it as we hurt him. Hit him with a couple of uppercuts again. We've seen what those uppercuts can do. Good hook, good uppercut as he went in for the takedown. He's in trouble. As we're able to block that. Oh, the hook just missed. That could have been it. That hook could have been it. The straight was incredibly slow, and again, despite feeling like I had my timing down, he's able to get the takedown. But we are able to rock him early. We'll get back to our feet, and hopefully we can capitalize on that before he has the round to recover. The end of the round to recover, I should say. We haven't really thrown to the body yet too much in this one. Good straight yet again. Another good straight, caught him clean. Just trying to make sure I don't get caught with these takedowns. And that one we're able to stuff. I thought that would be the one that he actually would have succeeded with, but apparently not. The hook doesn't go through. The uppercut does. Good set of punches there. Do we have a high kick? We don't. We have a leg kick. Not the best time to test that. We got caught with a couple of punches at the end. But obviously a strong round for us. Not sure if it would be given to us on the scorecards. The strikes he landed combined with the takedowns might have been enough for him to win that round. But obviously with the knockdown, I'm feeling a little bit better about that. And our likelihood of getting back into this one and maybe ending it here in the second round. Got to do a better job here of cycling, and we're looking good there, blocking that takedown, and we drop him with the right. We're going to be careful about rushing in. I had the option to try and pounce on him there. Wasn't feeling too good about it. Feeling good about these uppercuts. He is fighting back in a strong way. Here comes that spam of punches. Hit him with the hook. Yeah, he's getting aggressive. Very aggressive. We're very lucky to have not been knocked out by that overhand, as I was looking to throw a hook at the same time. It's the second time now that we've hurt him, and he's fought back in a very aggressive way. It's a good sign, though. Good uppercut. A good hook, I should say. I was looking for the uppercut to follow it up on. I didn't have the time. Was able to hit it that time, though. And we're able to stuff another takedown. Beautiful, Chara. Beautiful. You're a natural. You're a natural, except I tried to get that hook off and I couldn't. Alright. Under 3 minutes. A couple of strikes blocked there. Out of the range. We've hurt him in a big time way. Trying to break down the guard. Caught him with the hook. We're not going to jump in, though. We're going to wait. We're going to look for that clean knockout. Tried to get it with the overhand. Again, let's be patient. Let's be smart. We've hurt him again. Case in point right there, I tried to follow up with the hook, mistimed it terribly, and he was able to land some punches. We got to be smart. We're slowing down a little bit on stamina, which doesn't surprise me. Even though he hasn't thrown to the body all that much. Good 1-2. Again, just try to keep our range. He tried to throw the kick. We dropped him again. We're not going to jump in. A little bit more power, and this fight would have been over already. But needless to say, we're dominating this fight at this point. We just have to be smart. We can't get caught on the ground, particularly with low stamina. Try to let him just punch himself out and take advantage. Hope that our guard holds up. It's one of our advantages, having a strong block. We're able to block that takedown as well. He'll be low on stamina. Good left hook. Good right hook. set of uppercuts. Not able to drop him, though. He's tired, though. He's up against the fence as well. We're able to block that clinch attempt. And the right hook drops him, but it's not over. This guy has the heart of a lion. Good 1-2, and the right uppercut ends it. A masterclass, in a way, from Zdeno Chara. That was a much better overall performance, no matter how many times we dropped him. You see, that wasn't even the hook that ended the fight. It was the straight jab and the uppercut. We almost hit him with another one on the way down. We dropped him, what, 4 or 5 times in that fight, and we were finally able to finish the job. A little bit more power, as I was mentioning, and we would certainly have finished that fight a little bit earlier. Now, we didn't win the next 2 fights by stoppage in the first round. That's fine. Our longevity still at 98.6%. That's not too bad. 5 knockdowns in that fight. We did a good job of not throwing way too many strikes. Like, oftentimes that's a mistake I'll make against the AI, is they'll have 150 strikes, I'll have 280. Nice to try and keep that about even. 22 significant strikes. He landed more significant strikes. He also had a bit more top control, but we are able to walk away with the victory. The 5 knockdown performance. We have started this career mode off on a really strong note with a 2-0 beginning. Wallace, Petrarch, hell of a name, and Genevieve Fenton with my favorite stock image of Lightning. Fans of Zdeno Chara, as they should be, as they all will be. Everybody will in fact be a fan of Zdeno Chara by the end of this. Now, I will say, now is about the time that we're going to call this episode good. We're gonna end things now. We're going to move on because I'm off my game. I don't know how to speak. I talked about making a strong first impression. Don't know if I've done that. I hope that I've done that, however. In the next episode, we will continue our journey here within the WFA. It's a pretty big fight coming up. As you can see, we don't have the option on who we're fighting. It's just Eli Kelly, and needless to say, he has the advantage in most regards. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. We have another 4-week camp, though, to try and get those attributes up as high as they can possibly go. And hopefully, I can manage to not make the mistake of going for a perk. That was not my strongest moment of going for that first perk with, what was it, Headhunter, as far as the kicks go. Not my brightest moment, but at least we got one of the punches that'll be somewhat effective if I ever decide to use it a bit more frequently, and if I actually decide to work the body. But guys, again, that'll do it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. Yeah, I don't know, I'm terrible with outros, you know that, but you do also know what you can do to support the video and the channel if you did enjoy. Leave a like as well if you're excited for this series, and let me know. Of course, it's a little bit of a departure from my normal content on this channel, but I've had a lot of fun with this game so far on Twitch, and it made sense once we unlocked the legendary difficulty to bring it over to the YouTube side of things. As far as what else you can do, links are in the description to my Twitter and the previously mentioned Twitch channel. Give me a follow on both of those platforms if you haven't already done so. And until next time, guys, have a good one. Take it easy. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.